Hey, hey, beautiful people. It is 11:54 in the morning on January the 12th, 2014. A lot of people have been wondering why I haven't done a video here in the past month. and I've been going through some major integrations, and the one that occurred yesterday was most incredible. Throughout 2013, we were identifying the energy blockages that we were having within our field. We were identifying our connections to past life events, which past life actually occurs all in the now, and that's why we can go back and change things. Same things with the future and what we wish to create. A lot of people don't understand that, and how we go through the process of recreating our lives. There was a lot of clearing that was going on with me. Number one, from past life events, from anchoring a darkness within my field to hold my light down so I couldn't remember who I was as a angelic, archangelic, or light being, and those various levels. And it was put there for a purpose so we could play the game. And it's not that I was in your game or you were in my game, but in my game, I had to be kept down in light. And we do that with each other in relationships and karmic experiences throughout life. And we get emotionally tied to it. And just like the magnetics of a copper coil, that other person or that other experience out there, if you had energy flowing around it like in a copper coil, if you energize the electrical thought and you have the emotion which goes into that copper coil, you're energizing the magnetic field, which creates the experience, and you are here and the experience or the other person or whatever it is here, and as the field overlays, you have the Vesica Pisces, which is the experience. So it was the process of pulling those experiences and those traumatic effects and to neutralize the emotion so it does not keep replaying karmic effects. So 2013 was all about that. And the more we release the darkness, the more the light can come in. And so with all the solar activities, solar flares, CMEs, cosmic alignments, the ceremonies we were doing, all the different clearings that was going on, the more clearing that was going on within the field, the more I could expand my field, handle more like Quotient of who I truly am, the spiritual being, not the physical form that's here, but integrating it into the physical body. And when ISON came around, and this was Thanksgiving Day of 2013, there was a whole new energy shift, and something happened. Whereas before, I felt like in the physical form as Bill Ballard, I'm walking around in the field of that expanded light self by doing the work, inner work, and by not being tied to the illusion, which is the outside experience we call reality, but it's not really reality because we can change it. Well, it is reality because you experience it, but it's an illusion because we can change it. And that's what Ascension is all about. It's the neutralizing the effect that the field has had upon us so we can expand our light body and grow into who we truly are, bringing those higher levels of self, heaven, to earth in having the experience. And realizing our powers of creative mastery while we're having the experience. We choose to experience that which we create by our thoughts and emotions and our perceptions and how much intent and focus and energy we give to that we wish to create. So so as you do that, the field expands and you're walking around within that field, and you feel the field inside the body. But as ISON came through, there were frequencies that was changing the frequencies within the field that I feel. It helped to neutralize. It helped to bring it to a shorter wavelength or a higher frequency is probably the easiest way to put it there. Because ISON was water. It's a comet, and water holds frequency. Water also holds DNA and new life. Water also affects all other water. As you change your DNA within your physical being, as you're going through the ascension process, you're going to emanate a change of frequency for all other DNA that is exterior of your illusion. And truly, the whole universe is within, although we collectively live within the universe that we see on the outside. So whatever we are doing for ourselves, we are doing to change the exterior illusion. My field affects your field. As ISON was coming in and it interacted with the sun, changing the memory. And you have to understand, suns have water too, star water. Look it up. Scientists are proving it. That's how we get a lot of our water, is the water is actually being made on the sun, and many of the planets and moons around, well, they all have water. You cannot have any substance that holds together without water. That does not exist. Even concrete has water. A rock has water. You can't have physical matter without some form of water in it to hold it and bind it together. And so as ISON was rounding the sun and getting ready to come back out, and today, and it's 12 o'clock noon on 1/12/2014, right as I say that. And today, on the 12th, we are entering the actual trajectory path that ISON was on. When ISON rounded the sun and it came so close, it affected the sun, helping to change the frequency and the water and the CMEs, the solar flares that were occurring on the sun. It changed anything that was emanating from the sun, which is where we get our step downs from the higher cosmos field. The whole of our universe, those energies come in through our galactic center, which goes out to Sirius, and our galactic center is the great, great, great central sun, and Sirius is the great, great central sun, because everything that revolves around Pleiades revolves around Sirius, and that revolves around the greater Milky Way galaxy, and our solar system revolves around the Pleiades, which revolves around Sirius, which revolves around the Milky Way galaxy. So the great central sun is Alcyon in the Pleiades, and the great, great central sun is Sirius, and the great, great, great central sun is the center of the Milky Way galaxy. But all those energies coming in from the rest of the universe or from our great, great, great central sun is going to Sirius and steps it down there, which goes to Alcyon in the Pleiades, steps it down there, which goes to our sun and steps it down to be broadcast out within this solar system, changing and affecting all life that's on all the planets within this solar system. Now, as ISON was rounding the sun, a CME burst and it broke up ISON. And it could have been from gravitational pull. We don't know what happened, but we do know that it was broken up and a debris field spread as ISON's trajectory went out. And Christmas Day in 2013, we entered that debris field. Actually, it was the day after Christmas. And we will be within that. We came in to one side of it, and we will be going through and out this other side of it by early February in 2014. And every year since, and it's just like on my birthday. On my birthday, I have a meteor shower, the Perseids meteor shower that starts August 11th, ends on my birth, or is heightened on my birthday, August 12th, and ends August 13th, the day after. And we go through the debris field of that comet, which gives us the shooting stars throughout that time. Every year now, from Christmas Day to February, we're going to be coming through the ISON debris field. But today, we're coming through the original trajectory of ISON's path. And actually, it began yesterday on 1/11/2014. And I woke up to feeling a shift in the energies that I could not explain. I haven't done many videos lately because before, when I was doing a lot of videos, when I started doing videos in 2012, end of 2011, what was occurring with me was there was a week between shifts that I was experiencing within my field, within my body, and I could correlate that to words and explain what was going on. As we were entering 2013, that week was going down into a few days, and by the time ISON came through, I was every single day waking up to a new shift or a new frequency or a new level of consciousness or a heightened state of awareness or understanding or energy within my field. That was happening daily, and it was hard to describe what I was experiencing daily, because by the time I understood it and could put it to words, I was already into something new, and I need to be focused on these energies that are incoming in my field and not about what had happened. Just keep on integrating it into my field. Well, yesterday, something truly shifted. I mean, in a major way. And it was like all this light that I have been building and holding within my field of the various higher levels of self, and each one, and it's like nacre on a pearl. You have that seed, which is third dimensional there, and then you've got the first layer of nacre, which is fourth dimensional, and then another, which is fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional, seventh dimensional, eighth dimensional, ninth dimensional, all the way up to the divine plan. Actually, it's going all the way back up, the light being self, or the various layers of lower self, the Bill Ballard, the light being self, the angelic self, the archangelic self, the Metatronic self, and prime creator. And you can think about that as chakras too. You can also think about it as layers, because as you step into sixth dimensional consciousness and awareness, everything goes spherical. It's actually a light body initiation. As you go galactic and have your new galactic Merkaba put into you, you are becoming spherical. You are becoming the star that you are. And I've been experiencing that for a while, but it started happening so fast after ISON rounded the sun, and my energy field was being rewritten, raised to a higher frequency, a shorter wavelength, very high frequency. Instead of a long, slow vibration, it was a very fast vibration. And I could feel it within my field, and the integration started stepping up to where they were coming in on a daily basis. And what just happened as of yesterday, on 1/11/2014, which was the 22nd anniversary of those of us opening the 1111 doorway, which was the portal, the wheels within wheels doing the ceremony, which is mentioned in Ezekiel 1. The wheels within wheels, our wheels were opening a portal that overlaid Mother Earth from all the various chakra points we did it at, which the intent was to overlay Earth. It was basically creating a new Merkaba for Earth that was connected to the great, great, great central sun, center of the Milky Way galaxy. That was 22 years ago yesterday we did that. And my experience when we gathered 22 years ago, and good God, I look back to the changes I've witnessed, and I'm just in awe at, who I am now as to who I was then. And now I'm really more of that higher level of self, but we had to do what we did to bring in the higher energies. That's what the 1111 doorway was all about, was to raise the frequency of the planet so we could have much higher energies, which would change all consciousness and all life upon the planet. we had the information age. We had, just after we opened the 1111 doorway, that was January 11th, 1992, and it actually began even a year before that as the energies started working and mending in 1991. As they were merging from January 11th, 1991 to January 11th, 1992, when we did ceremony, there was a huge integration that was going on during that time, and it was affecting us physically. We were having various levels of initiations. Back then, we were in, I was in like my third initiation. I was, well, I was between third and fourth and completing levels that are between each different octaves of those initiations. And I was learning how to follow my intuition. And I was changing my perceptions, which changed this body. And as we did the ceremony, January 11th, 1992, the Christ grid was formed in February 1992, and I could physically see it with my 3D eyes. It looked like northern lights being woven in the skies above, being woven. And last night, I witnessed something very similar in the clouds as I went out to look at the moon. As the rains had passed over the area where I was, and I went outside, I looked up, and there was a ring around the moon, a rainbow around the moon. And right in the center, as the rainbow was forming in the clouds, you could actually see the overlay again, like the grid work. So that's interesting that 22 years apart, I'm seeing similar things, and I'm hearing of others seeing similar things now. And another friend is saying she's capturing it on her camera, on her video photography. I don't doubt it, because a lot of things get captured on digital video photography now. But anyway, yesterday, as we woke up to the 22nd anniversary of opening the 1111 doorway, from January 11th, 1992 to January 11th of 2014, something changed in the field, and I could not understand what it was I was feeling at the time. I read Lisa Wallace's post on what she saw, because she's a wonderful seer, and she was seeing how it's all integrating with us. And today, that's what I'm feeling. The field that I've been expanding and expanding into by releasing negativity, by expanding perceptions and actually releasing perceptions, not trying to define things other than my relation to words, which I'm not really thinking about what's going on, but it comes through, it comes from the field up to the brain and goes out to in the speech that I give. I'm not thinking about it as Bill Ballard. It is just a channeling of the field as I'm integrated with the higher self and allowing the field to come through me. It's like channeling. That's really what ascension is right there. You let the ego step out of the way, and the message comes through. And then to live life that way is walking in the state of grace. And that's what happened to me in December. Is I allowed myself to come down and become Bill Ballard again. And what occurred yesterday was a fusing of those layers of higher self into the physical form. That's what I was waking up going, what has happened? I can feel a difference in frequency. It's like another band of radio tuning. Like you have AM and FM and shortwave and marine band and all that. As I woke up, it was like there's another band that is now available in the field, but it is a fusing into the physical form, really bringing heaven to earth. And so anyway, that was just most magnificent. And it happened as we entered the original trajectory of ISON's path. If ISON would not have broken up, this would be when we would be coming into it. Now, every year, since ISON had you have the sun here, you have Earth's path here, and ISON came around and went here. Every year as we come into where ISON's path was, and we cross that path, but it is a giant debris field now. On Christmas to February, we're going to be coming into these original frequencies 4.5 billion years old, that have not been corrupted by our own duality experiment. And every year now, we have the ability for it to help to correct the frequencies of the water in the being. The water in the being, in the brain, in the physical body is 90% water. In Mother Earth, we have a huge amount of water. And so every year as we go through this now, we're going to be changing and altering the frequencies of ourselves, and Mother Earth, which changes everything else. We enter the new age. Wow. How to put some of these things into words without having time to comprehend what's going on. That's why I haven't done videos most recently. It's just been truly amazing. Persons are saying, I know something big's going on with you. Pop up and tell us what's happening when you can. So that's it. That's it. Anyway, my wonderful friend Carrie Ellis just posted her new book, and I sent it out to friends yesterday. It's called The 21st Century Superhuman. Look for it online. It's available both in a hard copy that you have to pay for, and she's also giving it away free as an ebook online. I will not be able to put that link under this video at this time, so just do a search for it. It's out there, and anyway, what an amazing time we're going in. Now, something else that's happened, I've noticed in that spiritual distillation that I've spoken of many times, because of the frequencies that we each as individuals hold within our field, the amount of clearing, the amount of truthfulness, the amount of centeredness and focus and integration of all this light, all that you have to release so that you can hold more and more light, expand your field in your thoughts and perceptions, along with the dreams, along with what you have as your desire. As we are here to shift the planet, our levels of light, our levels of frequency, our dreams and desires, and our focus on how we wish to shift the planet and ourselves as we're expanding, as we're going through our ascension process, bringing us into New Earth, the spiritual distillation is causing things to break up and release. That's what 2013 was all about. The spiritual distillation. We had to release those things that many of us loved and felt attached to hold, to plug the leaks of our connections throughout our field to those old attachments. Many of it was to things. Some of it was to loved ones. Some of it, like myself, I was attached to the person who I activated by, and I had to release her. She is on a different path from me. Yes, she's twin flame. She's not the only twin flame, I'm finding out now. There's many twin flames, but I had to release that connection and become sovereign within my own personal field. We do this with all types of experiences. We do it with family members. We do it with loved ones, to allow them their experience, but to be sovereign within our own experience and our own creation, because our connection to those outside sources, if it's not the same as us, it doesn't resonate, and there's a malfunction in the manifestations because of the energies that are not resonating with that which we desire to manifest and create, that direction which we're going in. Some people are we're all going to the same place. We're all going through the same process, but some persons are attuned to much higher levels of frequency and consciousness. They are consciously detaching from the 340 world, focusing inward and changing, stepping into the 5 and 6D worlds. Because the dream state is the only true reality. That which we manifest is the only true reality. That which comes to you from the outside, from the illusion, is a reflection of that which you have within yourself. That's why everything is one, and if you are in a negative state, the negative experience comes back. If you're in a positive state, the positive experience comes back. If you're in in-between state, that in-between state of both worlds comes back. If you are truly and completely within your bliss, that's reflected by every person you meet, all the experiences you have. That higher vibration affects everything on the outside. Now, that brings me to another experience that I had over the Christmas holidays. I have been a hermit for several years, and definitely since I came here to Florida since September of 2012, after the fall equinox, after we did star knowledge ceremonies in Asheville, North Carolina. I came to this property here in Florida and started doing my work with the nuclear power plant that is now shut down. That was something that occurred in 2013, March 2013. In Venus transit, I was told I've got something to do with Crystal River Nuclear Power Plant to hold the energies, because it had a cracked and leaking reactor core that was leaking down into the water here. And so I got called here to come do water healing ceremonies and to neutralize the effects of that nuclear leakage. And it was dark when I got here, and it's really, really light now. And my field, and I stayed within this little place from September 2012 till I started venturing out at the end of October of 2013. And as I ventured out, I noticed how my field was interacting with other persons. And over Christmas holidays, I went and spent some time down in Tampa with friends. And as I was driving down, I was watching how persons were coming into my field and how I was seeing accidents occur all the way around me, or people really getting upset and fighting right next to me. And both persons, the driver and the passenger, jumping out of the car saying, "You drive, I'm leaving, you drive, I'm leaving." I'm just going, somebody get in the car and drive it. Or wrecks hitting right in front of me, and you know, just this one person, well, things just play out in the field. And after I was leaving Tampa Christmas, Dunedin Christmas, and I was driving back north, there was somebody that was in a very rush, and I could see them in my rear view, and I was in a lot of traffic, and they were trying to get around everybody, and they came up to me and was right behind me, and in such a rush, just want me to get out of the way, and then they get around me, and then within a few minutes, they lose it and go off the road and flip upside down. Our fields, as we hold this higher light, for persons that are not choosing the ascension path or not choosing to do their clearing, this higher light, whether it's the CMEs coming in, the solar flares, X flares, just like we had an X flare the other day, whether it's the magnetics coming in from the galactic center, all of this affects persons in their various states of awareness. And if they are not doing their inner clearing and they're getting that reflection of negativity, what they're putting out there is what they're creating within their life. And when they come into somebody's field that is a super high vibrational frequency, then that triggers the negativity within their life, and they have great accidents. It's magnetics, people. This is how this works. This is why you have to clear those emotions in that field that is generated by your thought, by your negativity, and the emotion that you hold, which charges the copper coil, which is the 2 points of the experience, overlapping it so you can have the experience. If you don't neutralize that, and you're still in a bad frame of mind in your ego, seeing the world is falling apart, then that is being amplified by the generation of the magnetics that's going around the experience. We're all creating it. Persons who are coming into a higher energy field physically, while they're holding those lower vibrations, it's slamming them. That almost makes me want to stay at home. There are people having wrecks and getting hurt every time I go out. I don't want to see this stuff, but it's happening, and I feel like a trigger sometimes. And I would imagine there's a lot of us having similar experiences. It's an amazing time to be alive, but we are here to ascend Mother Earth and the collective of humanity. And if people are not going to wake up and to step on to their spiritual evolution, then they're going to have some issues. They're going to have some problems. This is not going to be a comfortable time. It can be a comfortable time in certain ways because we know we are actually making all these things happen. This is quantum physics 101. We are doing this. Our thoughts and our emotions are affecting. They're creating the experience. And it's up for everybody to realize that and to recognize that at this time. That's what the New Age is all about. And in so doing, you have to neutralize all those magnetics. All your karma, trauma, all your negativity has to be pulled back. Then pull back the fractals of self. As you start growing and expanding, you're going to remember past lives that are going on in the now. And we have the ability to change them from this point where we are at right now, right here and now. Change those memories. Change the magnetics. Change the fractals of yourself that's playing the game now. Because you're this great being that's playing on all those levels. In multiple levels. And the center point, the 0 point's right here in the heart. It's through that one of you that is going through the ascension process right now as we're lining up with the galactic center. That's what this is about. It's very beautiful what I'm experiencing, but as those higher levels of self, as I woke up yesterday morning and I feel it, it's getting infused into the quantum level, into the atoms that's within the cells of this body. The new ISON is reprogramming the magnetics, and it's bringing us back to the original. And it's bringing us back to the original, not just in our field, but in this physical form. That's what I'm feeling. And I couldn't understand it Thanksgiving and through Christmas and through these last videos. There's also some things that are going on which I will talk about in future videos about this this shift in money, in currency, in the funding for what's going on with New Earth projects that is pulling us out of the old system and recreating a new system. I was approached by many people after my last video about 3D printing recreational vehicles, Winnebagos, and using fuel cells to power, to fracture water and save the hydrogen, and to power the vehicle electrically, and how that would remove us from the mortgage systems, how it would remove us from the need to be paying the usury interest and the whole above, and how it pollutes the earth, how we live in these types of houses which are so inefficient, how that would change the collective of humanity. Well, I've been approached since by many persons who are looking at funding, and right now I'm waiting on that. And until that comes through, I'm just going to keep that under my hat and say, it's in the process. There's a lot of people that are here knowing it's time to shift the planet, and there have been finances awaiting for this time. And anyway, there are groups coming together like that as we go through our spiritual distillation, because we have different levels of how we are going to help the collective, how we're going to get through this process. And persons that are in their head and being selfish, selfish, to be self-centered, to be at 0 point within yourself, creates the tritial field, which right now, notice my energy shift, this new shift, my energy field has totally changed. And I don't see the tritial field. I don't feel it. There's something, it's like it grew bigger. It's like it's from the core of me, but it's like a giant. It's like being within a balloon, within a balloon, within a balloon. It is spherical. It's like I'm a walking star, which is my Native American name. And that's what I'm feeling right now. And I don't know how to explain it. But in the distillation process, persons who are not holding the truth or the level of frequency, because that's all it is. You're getting to the core of the truth, into the core of the truth, into the core of the truth, into the core of the heart, into the 0 point of the heart, into the 0 point of the heart. You find the bullseye and you go into the bullseye, and like a sniper, you're picking the center of the next bullseye and going into that bullseye, into that bullseye. We're becoming spiritual snipers as we go into center point. The more we go into center point, the more it affects our tritial field, and that tritial field expands and gets bigger and bigger. But you've got to do it with honesty and integrity and release of negativity and a conscious choice to raise your light quotient and your frequency to go to the next level, to find that center point and go to the next level. And in all the old thoughts, perceptions, magnetics, memories, karma, attachments, relations to others, all that has to go away so that you can go to center point, because it is that which is keeping you from going to center point. And then you have to integrate it into the physical being. That's what occurred yesterday. It's a fusing of spirit into body. For me, for my experience yesterday. There are other persons that are feeling something similar. I can't say what another person is feeling. I can't say about their path. All I can do is tell the mechanics of how that path is walked for the best results. and that's, all I can do is to document my personal experience. That's what my videos are all about. And that's what my blogs were all about. The problem was I was just at a point with my blogs that I couldn't keep on writing because there was just too much information to say and share. And plus, the way that I'm living now, channeling, the field is around me. Now it feels like it's fused within me. That's the difference between yesterday morning when I woke up and today. But the field is fused within me. Yes, Bill Ballard is still here, but all the other layers of higher self are here too. And as that is within me, and I'm living from that center point, in the center point, in the center point, the field is coming up and out. It tells the brain how to operate, how to create the hologram that I wish to experience, the peaceful existence and harmony and magic that I wish to experience as I interact with the field. I could not write that anymore. And that's why I left blogging and got into the videos, because there was just too much to say. And now so much is going on that I can't even do the videos daily. Only when I hit a certain level of comprehension and understanding. Because even Bill Ballard is still here. Bill Ballard's going, hey, what the fuck? How do you describe this one? And so, and he has to step aside to allow that to come through. And that was what was interesting, because over the past years, I have been channeling the field more and more, finding that 0 point into the 0 point into the 0 point. And I stayed in that state of grace and wasn't integrating with Bill Ballard. And then just like in my last video about allowing the experience to unfold where, I have both in that fall from grace, what has happened now is that fusing of both into the physical being. And what's going to happen from here? I have no earthly idea. And I guess it all has to do with what I decide to create. My decision, my focus is in a perpetual state of being connected with Prime Creator and being in this physical body here and allowing the frequencies of Prime Creator go through all the various levels of higher self and come through and have the experience within this body. And allow Bill Ballard to be in here too. That's pretty cool. And so that was what happened yesterday, was that fusing. And that is what I hold in my vision, my field of heart, my choice, my manifestation. And with that, it happens. It unfolds. It unfolds. With every wave, it clears what I desire to allow that manifestation to come in. That goes back to my earliest memories as a baby. We have the ability to go all the way to connect with Prime Creator and Source while in the physical form, here and now, channeling those energies to Earth. I always thought it was leaving planet, ascending off planet and going back to Source, and that's not it at all. It's amazing how we have messages when we are younger, just like 22 years ago yesterday, opening the 11:11 doorway. And those of us who had experiences, and for me, I was a very avid woodsman. I lived in the wilderness quite a lot during that time, and I know the stars very well. And the night before, well, actually, it was the early morning of the 11th when we were walking up Dove Mountain at exit 11 on Highway 11 in Jellicoe, Tennessee, and we were gathering with over 200 persons. And we had done a practice run of the ceremonies that night before, and I recognized all these persons, and they recognized me, and none of us had met this life. It was the most magical thing. We all knew of each other. We all had memories of each other, but it was our mission before we came into incarnation, this life, that gave us the memories of that experience. And we all had partners that were witnessing the exact same things. And what I witnessed was all the stars and the constellations in the heavens were not in the right place as we were walking up Dove Mountain to do our ceremony on that flat top, almost like volcano, right next to Angel Mountain in Jellicoe, Tennessee, in the Daniel Boone Wilderness area. And there were other persons who recognized, who knew the stars like I knew the stars, who noticed the stars were not in the right place. And it was perfectly clear, not a cloud in the sky. And I couldn't even see the Milky Way galaxy. There was no sign of it. Other persons were seeing angels, other persons were seeing UFOs, and there was always witnesses to the experience. At that time, January 11th, 1992, those of us that participated in Open the 11:11 doorway felt that we would be separating, because at that time, we were going to have two Earths, 3D Earth, and those who chose not to ascend, and then splitting off of the 5D Earth. We were actually going to raise our frequency and walk through the doorway. Same thing that we used to do when we would activate our chakras. For those of us who have ascended off the earth plane before in previous lives, in the now moment, we did that by activating our heart chakra, which caused the heart chakra to spin out, which activated the toroidal field, which activated the Merkaba, which created a vortex into another higher dimension, which was the fifth dimension, and you stepped through that portal into the fifth dimension. You were off planet. Either you drop body or you take your body with you off planet. Elisha, there's a good write-up about him about that. Enoch was taken on a whirlwind. Everybody had the same experiences, and Jesus did it after death. And so it's interesting, and so many of us felt that was going to happen by 1999 for those of us participating, and then it didn't, and we were going, what the heck happened? And by the time George Bush had stolen the election in 2000 and 9/11 occurred, which was the theft of gold from World Trade Center 7. And it's funny because I just read Ferdinand Marcos' Last Will and Testament, and he's saying exactly where the gold was. And I just saw the movie The Hobbit over Christmas holidays, and it's talking about the ring of power. Marcos is talking about the ring of power in his Last Will and Testament. The Hobbit trilogy. Lizard walking right across my window. Yeah, the reptilians had some things to do with this. Kind of interesting little sign that just happened. In the Hobbit trilogy, the Tale of the Two Towers is writing about the Twin Towers and what was at the bottom of them. Gold. What is it about? It's the battle for Middle Earth, for this fourth dimensional Earth that we're here, taking from the third dimensional to the fifth dimensional. The Hobbit trilogy tells the tale in a very dramatic sense, but it's exactly what's going on right now. And Marcos was talking about his gold that was stolen, and he was one of the most wealthy person. In 1949, the two most wealthy persons, Marcos was one of them. And his gold was stolen by the Rothschilds. The Marcos family is family members with the Dragon Society, which has the gold, which is backing the Chinese yuan right now to take us into a new currency, a new way of being. And in reading Marcos' last will and testament, which is online for anybody who wishes to look, he talks about all the gold that was his, that was stolen. And it's really, he doesn't claim it as his. He claims it for the people, but it's Solomon's gold, King Solomon's gold. And that it was at the bottom of the World Trade Center number 7, which is the reason why the two Twin Towers had to come down to get the gold out of the bottom of World Trade Center 7. In his last ring and will and testament, he talks about the Ring of Power. And it's most amazing to know the story of The Hobbit, which was written 30 years before, but discussed there. And I also find it interesting that the last will and testament he wrote at Buckingham Palace, which we all know what goes on in London and what's going on with the Queen in the Vatican and the 3 city-states, the Washington being the control of military power, London being the control of the financial for the planet, and Vatican being the control of the religious sector of the planet, which the 3 is who brainwashes and has kept this drama going on for so many thousands of years that we call 3D duality. But it was, we chose to play this game. It wasn't happening to us. And Ascension is the breaking free of that game and the release of your karma, your energy and motion around to your attachments of lives of being killed or playing the game of duality. That's what my book was about. The Great Awakening, about how duality came to be some 50 plus million years ago and about our experience of it. Now we're neutralizing all that and bringing it back into center and becoming our own masters. We've created, we have completed our experience in duality by our personal choices, and we're stepping into our mastery, bringing heaven into earth and not having these blocks, any blocks that blocks us from all the way back to Prime Creator to where we are now. And we can live as the creator gods that we are meant to. And we're removing all our limitations, those thoughts and perceptions that were put upon us by the church, by the financial system, by Washington for the duality experiment. But then that's what 9/11 was about. And see, those of us who opened the 11/11 doorway when Hale-Bopp came through, which was the sign that it's getting ready to all happen, and we had this great comet that was seen for, 4 or 5 months across the skies everywhere, and we knew that Ascension was getting ready to happen, and then all of a sudden it didn't happen, and 9/11 happened. What happened with 9/11? Team Dark, and people have to understand this, is Team Dark has awakened the population, the greatest thing they could do, because now there's not going to be a 3D Earth with everybody waiting behind and those of us stepping into 5D right there. We are pulling it all along with us. 3D, 4D, 5D, and 6D Earth, along with those of us who are integrating higher levels of self and doing our manifestation on planet to change the planet through our dream state, which is our awakened state now, are playing in 7th dimension, 8th dimension, and 9th dimension. Sound. Consciously changing the planet with our sound. That which we speak forth, of that which we see, which is a representation of the divine plan. 9th dimension, 8th dimension, 7th dimension. We are consciously changing it. And by our light frequency that we hold within our expanded field, and by our intent and how long we can hold that vision, we're manifesting New Earth. And that is what 9/11 allowed us to do. That is what the Bushes, Team Dark, and even Obama's in there waking up people right now. So many people are going, I hate him, and they're causing crap in their own life. But what Obama is doing is giving you the chance to wake up. Team Dark, in their playing on the highest level of my comprehension, has opened the doorway for everybody to come through. Everybody's going to ascend with Mother Earth. We're bringing it with us. This has never been done before. That's why we're being looked at so much. And plus, every person on this planet is an ascended master already. That is the requirement to come into Earth School. You had to ascend from the civilization which you were actually from. Nobody is from here. Nobody originated on Earth. Your soul did not originate on Earth. You did not step down out of the angelic form into a light being form and then into physical forms that we experience this temporal existence called duality. You did not step down into Earth. Earth has only been here for a very short time of the duality experiment. We're all ambassadors from our civilizations, representing them as they go through the ascension process. Not everybody could come play out, finish out duality here on Earth. And whether we ascended from our plane of existence where we came into the temporal form for the very first time, as we ascended out of there, that's the requirement to come into Earth School. And all of the rest of that civilization that you came from, that you represent, is ascending because of your experience here and now. It's a very beautiful thing. Not everybody from those civilizations could experience Earth. We don't have enough room. Earth had to be quarantined and limited here as we went through our development, so that as we started developing atomic bombs and coming into our power, the last part of the 20th century, just like we were doing in the Orion Wars before, and we were popping holes, wormholes into other dimensions and other galaxies and other parts of this galaxy, and we were destroying other planets, we had to be quarantined. All of these ships that are outside of us, every single person here is already a light being. That's what you're doing as you're going through the ascension process. You're integrating your light being self within the physical form. You are ascending and merging that self from those galactic ships that have been following you throughout the duality experiment, helping to guide you through the duality experiment as you clean up the karma and the energy and in the motion, the emotion, your perceptions. You're integrating more with that light being self, that higher self. Those light being self are on these billions of ships that are watching over Earth right now. Everybody here is a light being. Everybody here came through the portal of Arcturus to get here and then step down into Pleiades or Sirius or wherever you started from and go play in the Orion Wars. And then later to come to this solar system and play at Maldek, which we blew up between Mars and Jupiter. And then play at Mars. And then play in the 4 Earth schools previous here. And now we're just cleaning up all that. And that's what this ascension is all about. It's the release of the emotions. It's the changing of the frequencies. It's the integrations with the higher levels of self. The next level being your light being self, the eternal physical self. Your next level being your angelic self, archangelic self, back to Prime Creator. That's what we're doing here. And so everybody here, as we came into this experience in through the portal of Arcturus, we stepped down into Arcturus. And look at the size of Arcturus. Arcturus is thousands of times bigger than our sun. I mean, literally, there's as much difference as the Earth is to our sun as our sun is to Arcturus. And that is the portal that we come through from other universes and other galaxies from to step down to play within this one. So we're all light beings. And through that light being self, these are the ships that you see out there. And as a light being self, it's just consciousness. And it can change form to this size to bigger than the Earth. It's just consciousness. That's why everybody here is already an ascended master. They're an ambassador of other civilizations. And you've got a light ship that you're going to probably start seeing, because your light being self is that. And what we're doing is we're integrating it here in this physical form. And what happened yesterday was a fusing of those layers of higher self into the molecular structure, the atomic structure, the cellular structure of the physical body. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, I hope you understand why I haven't been doing videos. I hope you understand what I'm trying to relate here. And it's not like I'm trying, it's coming through. There's no Bill Ballard thinking about it. There's just, that's what's coming through. And I love you all very much. In Lakesh, I am a reflection of you as you are of me. And the whole world is a reflection of you. So if you're experiencing bliss and you see it reflected in the world back towards you, that's your mirror. If you're experiencing crap, that's your mirror. If you're experiencing persons lying to you, look at yourself. If you're lying, are you lying to yourself? Are you lying to others? Are you creating blockages for the energy to flow that keeps you from integrating with your higher levels of self? Do you have perceptions like religion and thinking somebody else is going to save you or that you're a sinner? You've got to remove those perceptions so that you can expand to your higher levels of self. Right now, it's the integrating of all these frequencies coming in. And it's going to shake up those frequencies. Any of that lower vibration and negativity, it's here to break it up like a spiritual rock crusher. And then the spiritual flame is put underneath it to spiritually refine you. You're going through a refinement process. And at each layer that you're refining, the negativity, the old thoughts, perceptions, the old emotions, your old traumas has to be removed so that you can embody the higher levels of self. Anyway, love y'all. I got to get some farm work. We had our first freezes this week, and I got a lot of plants that's got to come out and other plants that's got to come in. And so, love y'all. Bye for now. I'll message when I can. I'm doing a lot of high energy exchange work with persons going through their ascension process right now. And this has turned out to be a very good way for me to generate income. And so I really appreciate those persons that are working with me on high energy exchange as they need help throughout their energy, their ascension process. And some persons just need to tell me their story. Some persons need to say, I have a question and I need some understanding. Some persons are going through the physical changes and shifts and not understanding it. And I can just relate my story. I cannot give advice, will not give advice. That's up for you to understand. But I can tell you in relation to my story what comes through the field to you. And so anyway, I really appreciate that. And persons have asked me to define what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. They're asking me to define the financial exchange for the energy exchange, for the work that I do, helping them to clear, helping them to expand, helping them to understand. And right now, I'm setting it at $80 an hour or $175 for 3 hours, US dollars for 3 hours, which can be broken up into three, taken all at one time in a 3-hour section or broken up into 3 different sections. And then other persons are asking for a spiritual coach, which $175 for the original time that we're working together, and then $100 a month thereafter for the energy exchange. That's what seemed to work really well right there. And I really appreciate everybody who's participating. It's not a job. I'm not trying to start a business, but there are things that I do need. And so it's a good way to generate an income while I do my light work. And to tell you the truth, I have more abundance than I could have ever imagined. And I really appreciate that. It's just coming in different forms than most people imagine. It's not a whole bunch of stuff. It's having what I need when I need it. Anyway, we're at 59 minutes and coming up on 9 seconds. And I'm going to bid you all adieu and farewell. Love you all. And until next time, bye for now. Contact me at pearls2you@hotmail.com for high energy exchange. I'm also there on Skype. Love y'all. Bye for now.